Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to be doing a video over Connor transitioning out of the military and how we came to that decision. So I'm gonna let Connor talk for most of it because this is really his journey, but also is kind of a partnership. So I'll be talking a little bit about the questions that I asked him and how he was able to come to that decision by himself, but also how we were able to come to it together. So that's basically the intro. One of the things that I did want to remind you guys about is to donate to the book and the campaign and the GoFundMe. If you don't know anything about that, I'll have more of that in the description and also the link to where you can donate. Anyways, let's get started with this video.
So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that I agree with Brittany when she was saying it was a decision that we made together. It definitely is a decision that you and your spouse should make together. Another thing I want to talk about is why I even joined the military to begin with. And I'm going to keep it pretty simple because for the most part, I think the reason why most people join the military is pretty simple. For me, I didn't like school. I didn't want to go back to school, you know, for college and, you know, another 4 years of listening to a teacher teach and writing down stuff. I didn't want to do that. And my second reason would be I really love traveling. I traveled whenever I was in 9th grade and I loved it. I went to Italy and so I wanted to do that again. And yeah, so that's pretty much why I joined the Navy. I wanted to travel and I didn't want to go to school. Alright, so the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about are just the incentives that were thrown my way whenever I first started to think about, here comes Samuel, always wanting to be in our video.
Okay, but you gotta sit still, sweetie pie.
Sit. Again, yeah, so I want to talk about the incentives that I had to face whenever I was right on that cusp of starting to think about re-enlisting and stuff like that. And, you know, the word bonus was thrown in there. Hey, the Navy will give you a bonus if you re-enlist. And it was a pretty big bonus. And I think they offered me that bonus because they sent me to school for, you know, 2 years before I went to the fleet. And so they really wanted to keep me in because they didn't want to lose all that money that they spent on school. So that same day I went home and talked to Brittany about it, and I was like, hey, look, they're offering me like 65 grand or whatever it was to stay in for like 4 years, re-enlist for 4 years, and they'll give me all this money and I'll get half of it up front, so like 30 grand up front, and we can use this to do blah 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 blah. And it was good. It was a good thought, like, at the beginning. And then Brittany was like, so are you gonna stay in for the money? Are you doing this for the money, or are you doing it because you like your job and you're passionate about your job? And then I had to reflect on that and think about that for a little bit.
Yeah, and I like remember that day super specifically because I remember we lived in our small San Diego apartment and I was sitting on my computer probably editing a video or something, and he tells me to get up off my seat and he sits down and he tells me to sit on his lap and he tells me his big elaborate plan of all this money that he's gonna get, and he's like, we can do this with the money and this is what they're gonna give me and blah blah blah. They're gonna span it out between like 3 years or like however many years they're gonna span out all the things that he's gonna do with this money, we could do with this money, and blah 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 blah. And immediately, like, I knew from the very beginning of this channel, I have always said, never do it for the money, never marry for the money. Like, the money is the least of the problems. And I knew that, like, obviously we need money to survive. We need money to have, like, a family and to do all these things. But my heart has always been for Connor to have a passion and to be passionate about the things that he likes. If he's passionate about picking up garbage off the street, like, I would love for him to do that because that's his passion. She would. That's his passion. But when he came home and was like, the money, I was like, okay, is this guy just saying the money, or does he really, like, is he really passionate about his job? And so it was funny because, like, that time he said that, and then a week he was like, okay, you know, you're right. I'm not thinking about my job, I'm thinking about the money. Then 3 to 6 months later, comes home again, the money, look at how much I could get, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, Connor, the money, or are you passionate? Oh, you're right. 3 months, 6 months later again, and really, like, this took probably about 2 years before he was really like, okay, I need to start thinking, do I want to do it for the money, or do I want to do it because I love my job, because it's getting closer to the end and I need to actually decide. So it was just really funny for him to keep coming home and telling me about the money, but I just kept encouraging him, are you passionate about your job, or do you just want to do it for the money? So sometimes you just gotta rationalize with them.
Yeah, she kept me on my toes for sure. And then after she kept, like, whispering that into my head, into my ears, and I just really started thinking about it, and just came to the terms that being in the Navy wasn't my passion. And although I did really enjoy, I have really enjoyed, and I still do really enjoy being in the Navy, but the military has been a really big stepping stone when it comes to learning about leadership and management and stuff like that I can really use in the outside world. I really love the Navy, and I really still do love the Navy, and I like my job, the job that I'm in now. I'm just not passionate about it, like I said. And then I've had a lot of people, because I've told this to a lot of people, that I'm just not passionate about my job. I don't want to be an electronics technician anymore. And it's not something that I want to do for the rest of my life. And they were like, well, why don't you just you know, change your job, get a new job in the military. And for some jobs in the military it might be that easy, but since they sent me to school for 2 years, you know, a year and a half, and spent so much money on the schooling that they sent me to, it's just not that easy to do. I actually can't, as an FCA, I can't change my rate unless something weird happens, like there's too many FCAs out there or something, so I have to change my rate. So it's not something that I can just like change that easily.
Right.
Yeah.
And is being an FCA a rare job? Yeah,
I would say so, because you get like weeded. So I came into the Navy as an AECF, which is Advanced Electronics Computer Field. And then after boot camp, whenever I was going to A school, they made me an FC. So they could either make me like an FC or an ET, but they made me an FC. And then after A school, I picked my rate, and I picked FCS, which was an Aegis FC. And there's only 3. There's FCS, SPY, and AC&T. So I picked FCS, which made me an FCA instead of just an FC. So I came in as an ACF. After boot camp, went FC instead of ET. And then after A school went FCA instead of FC. And so you don't like join boot camp as an FCA.
Oh, okay. So it was like this rare picking of what you were?
It was like chance.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely chance, yeah. I could have been an ET for all I know, but...
So you can't just change your job because it's rare?
No, yeah.
Okay. What are some pros and cons for the reasons that you want to stay, first of all, for the pros, and then also cons for leaving? Why you're staying, why you're leaving. Yeah, maybe just like 2 for pro and then 2 for con.
Okay, well, pro would definitely be like stability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, healthcare stability. You know, paycheck every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't just get fired from the military, and so it's a pretty stable job.
Right.
That'd be one pro. One con would be instability. When it comes to like staying in a central location, because you're moving around a lot. You have instability when it comes to settling down, but you have stability when it comes to finances, yeah, and healthcare and stuff like that. And so it's kind of like a double entendre,
right,
type thing.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly. Another pro that I would have is just the camaraderie that you get in the military is a lot different than camaraderie that you would get out in the civilian sector. And it's like
civilian sector.
It's more of a bonding experience, I think, in the military, the camaraderie that we share with each other, and that's not something that you can get on the outside. So that's I would say that that's a pro.
A pro.
Yeah, the military sector is such a small, tight-knit group of people where I can go out, you know, and meet somebody I've never met, but they're in the Navy, and then we can just share our experiences, and we get each other and stuff like that. So that's not something that, like, if I was like a business owner of an electric shop or something out in town, I can't just go across the country and talk to another business owner of a toy shop. Yeah, and then so that's a pro for sure.
And then con?
Another con that I have is one that I actually wrote a blog about a while back. And I thought I was going to be good at blogs, but I wasn't, and so I wrote like 3 blogs, and then I think Brittany like took over my channel or something, or my my webpage or something.
Yeah.
But basically it was like being successful. So like right now I'm an E5, and I've been an E5 for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I have to wait. Like when you're in the military, you have to wait a certain time. You have to get certain evals. You know, it's all on a schedule when you get to progress and when you get to be successful. And me, I like to run and run and run and run, and I got really qualled really quick whenever I was in the military, and now I'm at like I'm in a stagnant pool because I'm not eligible to take first class, so I'm not eligible to advance. And I'm just sitting here like bored, like I've got all the quals that I need to get to advance, but I can't because I'm waiting on a time limit. And I think that's like aggravating for me because all I want to do is succeed in everything that I do, but I can't. I have to wait. And I think in the civilian sector, like I don't
sector, just funny.
Yeah, it is the civilian sector.
I know.
Y'all are like a whole different breed.
Y'all, I'm a military wife.
But you're also a civilian.
I know.
Or are you?
Or am I?
You're a dependent.
I'm an independent.
You're an independent dependent.
So it's frustrating.
Yeah, so it's frustrating.
That you can't advance.
Yeah, because if you were working somewhere.
I do work somewhere.
Yes, you do. But in your job, you really can't like advance. You're like at the top of whatever your job is.
Yeah.
But if you say you wanted to advance, like you just wanted to advance, and then someone said, "Nah, not yet. You can't advance yet." Well, that would make you upset.
Yeah. He just has a heart of wanting to grow and to progress, and so for that, it makes him frustrated.
Yeah, it does.
But, okay, so now I'm going to ask you some questions that are from the internet. Instagram, actually. Whenever you joined the military, did you know you wanted to do 4 to 6 years? Or did you like have no idea going in what you were going to do with no expectation?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know if I was going to stay in for one term or not. I think I know I went into it thinking, we'll feel this out, we'll see how it is, and if I don't like it, I can get out after the first term, but if I do like it, then I'll stay in. But yeah, it just really depended on how I liked it.
Right.
So,
what are some new experiences you're excited for getting out of active duty?
I think, well, finding a new job, working at a new place, that's going to be exciting because I really want just a 9 to 5 job, you know, where I can sleep in till like 7:30 or 8.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice, and I have a set schedule. I don't have to stay at my work overnight every 6 days. That's gonna be nice. I'm excited about just having a normal civilian
What
job.
a military answer.
Yeah.
Like, I am glad that I can sleep in.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, next question. What do you plan on doing after your contract ends in October?
The day that my contract ends, I plan on starting my 1-year beard challenge. I just want to grow a beard for a year. See what I can get. I think the most I've grown my beard out was like 14 days or so, 15 days.
I think so.
For like the past 5 years. And I want to see what this bad boy can do, you know. On a more serious note, other than my beard. So since we bought a house, I think we plan on staying here in the Everett area for like 3 more years, 2-3 more years, just, you know, because we just bought a house and we want to settle down and we like it up here. We have a lot of good friends up here, and then hopefully I can find a good job. Hopefully you guys are praying for me, and yeah, we'll just stay up here and then eventually move back down to our homeland of Texas, because that's where it's at, Texas. Oh, and something that I haven't mentioned to you guys yet, but I do plan on going reserves, and I actually have started getting that ball rolling, and maybe that'll be a video. Maybe that, like, you know, joining the reserves. How would you do? Yeah, maybe that can be a video, because there is a lot of paperwork that you have to fill out, and but yeah, I just started that, and the interesting thing was I wasn't gonna go reserves because they never had FCA reservists, and actually up until 2 years ago they never had FC reservists, and I didn't want to have to go to school for another rate just to pick up another rate for reserve, so I just didn't want to do that whole thing. But like randomly,
Lord.
I got yes, the Lord. I got selected for FCA reservist, which I didn't even think it was a thing. Actually, it didn't become a thing until this year. And I was looking up like quotas and like any information about FCA reserves, and there's nothing out there. There's like nothing out there. So that could either be a good thing for me or a bad thing. Either I'll have 100% advancement or I'll have 0% advancement. And so that kind of scares me, but that'll be all right. Yeah, so I think I'm like one of one FCA reservist. If you know of any other FCA reservists out there, let me know, please, because I'm just like still really shocked. But yeah, so I'll be going FCA reserves.
High five the Lord. All right, so another question we got is, how have you all started to prepare for your transition? And do you have any tips for us?
But I'm pretty sure we both have started our own ways to prepare for transition. And for me, this started like 6 months ago whenever I was a year out. I started really early just because I was excited. I think I started looking for jobs when I still had like 8 months left or like 9 months left or something like that. And I actually it's funny, I just wanted to apply to a job just to apply. But I was still like 8 months out, and of course they denied me because they're not gonna approve somebody 8 months out. Yeah, so I was going crazy. I was excited.
Did your resume?
Yeah. So there's this class that I went to called TABS class, and basically they showed me how to build a solid resume and, you know, how to whoa the people that you're trying to whoa on your resume, which was really good. It was a really good class, and I think it's mandatory for the Navy at least to send you to TAPS before you get out, and it's a really good class.
Yeah, so for me, how have I prepared for getting out of the military? I don't know.
Maybe like just mentally.
Yeah, I guess mentally, because I think for me, having, like, before he decided to join reserves, the whole mentality of like losing my identity in military wife, of like, I'm not going to be a military wife anymore, and like I'll always be a military wife, but having that idea of like feeling like I'm not a part of the community anymore, or I can't just go on base whenever I want to, or like just join military spouse groups or whatever because I'm not a military wife. For me, it was just kind of like, that's really sad, and I don't want that to happen, even though eventually one day it's gonna have to happen. But for me, it was kind of hard to feel like that identity is gonna be ripped from me, even though my identity isn't in military wife. It was just kind of hard, and so I've had to mentally be like, it's okay, I'm still a military wife, and being a military wife doesn't define me, and you know, things like that. So just mentally, I really had to prepare. But now he's joining reserves, so I'll be a military wife forever. So I guess I really haven't had to transition, but just helping him and supporting him and like loving just whatever he's doing and helping him find his passion. So really just being a support in the time of transition has been my role. So yeah, hopefully I've done a good job.
Yes, you have a very good job. Thank you very much. Oh, cool thing about joining the reserves too is I'll have done 6 years before I get out, and then I'll go into reserves, and then all I have to do is 14 years of reserves.
Seems so long.
Yeah, it does, but it's only reserves, so 14 years reserves, and then I can also collect retirement after that. So by the time I'm 38, I'll be able to collect a retirement paycheck from reserves, which will be nice.
Reserves, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. So there's a question that says, what will you do instead of the military job-wise? But do you know what you're gonna do yet?
Not necessarily. Like, if I had to choose a job that was kind of like mine, I think I'd probably work at like Boeing or like Fluke or somewhere I could be an electronics technician. But I am gonna start attending college for the fall semester, and I don't know what I want my major or minor to be, so I guess we'll figure that out. Brittany gave me a lot of good inputs of what she thinks she sees me as, or what she thinks I can excel in, and a lot of them I agreed with, so I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, you know, when you join college as a freshman and then you change like your major like 900 times before you even graduate.
That'd be you.
Yeah, that would be me.
So there were lots of really good questions, but we don't want to make this video super long. So that's basically it. One thing, I don't know if we mentioned, Connor's contract was for 6 years, and that's because his schooling was 2 years, and then his, I guess, active duty was 4 years. Yeah,
basically. For my rate, whenever I join, I have to do 5 years at sea and then 3 years shore, when some of them are like 4 years at sea, 4 years at shore. So I had a 5-year sea rotation that I had to do, but so getting out in October, I wouldn't have even completed my 5 years because I was at school for almost 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
So there's that, if we did not mention that. But yeah, so we are transitioning out of active duty, but not the military, since Connor will be going reserves. But hopefully we were able to answer any questions or give you guys a little insight onto what we're going through and how we came to the decision of, you know, where we're at now, transitioning out of active duty but stepping into reserve life. So Yeah, that's basically it for this video. Hopefully, again, we answered all questions and gave you guys information. If you have more questions or thoughts, leave them down in the comments, or even additional video ideas so that we can elaborate on some of the stuff that we're going through. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye-bye.
Is FTA a real job? Not a real job.
A real job.
A rare job.
I'm a real boy.
A rare job.
Brown chicka, wow, wow.
Brown chicka, brown cow.